Alright guys, so it's round 3 of tonight's 4-round Swiss portion of the standard tournament here at FNM at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Round 3, we've got 2 players who are on a win and a loss, both still drawing alive to the top 8. Here on the left, it's Drew Scherr, in from college and piloting Mono Black Devotion. And his opponent is Jonathan Wright, who's playing Junk Midrange. If you've watched the stream before, you'll know that Jonathan and his brother Scotty kind of bounce back and forth between this deck. It is a Junk Midrange deck with a lot of value creatures in it, like the voice that you see here on turn 2, as well as Mana Dork's Obsidat. It does also play Loxodon Smiters, and has a high end of, or has a late game value plan of Whip of Erebos into Obsidat. So a lot of value here, along with the requisite removal and Scavenging Oozes. So it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes, as I'm pretty sure the Wright's sideboard in Blood Barons in Game 2 as well. So a turn 2 Pack Rat is going to meet an Abrupt Decay, and Jonathan's going to start swinging in with his Voice of Resurgence. And then follows up with a Scryland. Another Thoughtseize out of Drew catches Jonathan with just an Ooze and 2 lands in hand. So Drew stuck on 2 lands here, but effectively stabilized against Jonathan, as he has no gas left. He's just going to have to deal with this voice. You see he has a copy of Hero's Downfall in hand. Oh, don't do it. Yeah, you have to do it. Have to do it during your turn, otherwise Jonathan's going to get a voice token. So Drew correctly doing that at sorcery speed. Jonathan doesn't draw another creature. Looks like he's drawn another land off the top here. So looks like Jonathan's stalled out here, and Drew, if he draws a land, will be able to slam a Desecration Demon, who he misses on the land here. He's going to serve in here. Very dangerous attack. Animating his Mutavault is going to meet a Doomblade, so Stone Rain out of Jonathan. Not the worst thing that could have happened to Drew, as he really needs a black mana more than anything. Well, no, actually, he needs a. Probably shouldn't have done that, because he needs to cast the Desecration Demon in his hand. So pre-combat Scavenging Ooze is going to pump up the Elemental token. Johnson's going to serve in for 2 here. And there's another Mutavault, so Drew going to lament that that attack previously. Guys, I apologize, we're having some issues with the camera tonight. Issues with the camera tonight. Looks like it's being having some signal problems again. So if I have to unplug it and plug it back in, just bear with us. We'll be right back. So just fair warning. So Scavenging Ooze eats 2 creatures at end of turn, and now Jonathan's serving in for. Oh, he's going to eat his voice before damage. So that's 6 from the Ooze and then 2 from the token, putting Drew down to 1. And I think that's going to be enough here, because I don't think there's a card that Drew can draw. There's an Erebos. He never got to the fourth mana he needed to be able to dig out of this. And they're going to move to Game 2 very quickly here. Drew probably regrets that anime. So Game 2 is underway. Jonathan mulling down to 6 on the draw. Both players just land go. No turn 2 Pack Rat from Drew this game. So not presenting any early pressure. Scavenging Ooze makes an appearance. Looks like Drew has drawn a lot of land here. And he's going to go ahead and Hero's Downfall on the Ooze while he has the opportunity. Looks like he has a very mana heavy draw here. Kept a land heavy hand, and then has continued to draw lands off to the top. And here's an Underworld Connect, or that's a Night Veil Spectre. So we have a threat on board, and of course that can effectively draw cards. And in this matchup, there's always a chance that Drew will actually be able to cast the cards he finds on the top of Jonathan's deck should he connect with the Spectre. So a Hero's Downfall of Jonathan's own takes out the Spectre, and Drew quickly replaces it here. Jonathan on a pretty mana-heavy draw here too, but of course at 5 mana he casts Obsidian, and that does a lot of work here. So there's a Sin Collector revealing 2 Swamps and a Gray Merchant. So he's going to whiff there. Then Drew's going to play another land here. He's going to... got a little bit of sequencing out of order here. Probably should attack with the Spectre first. Why are we not attacking with the Spectre? It does fly, am I correct? Ah, there we go. Oh, and what a draw off the top. Sometimes, of course it's a Schrodinger's cat kind of thing. You never know what's on the top of their deck, and to suggest that that was a correct play because it was the Blood Baron is obviously flawed, but always feels good to rip a very tough to deal with card out of your opponent's deck with a card like Night Veil Spectre. So 5-point swing off the Gray Merchant, and then the attack from the Spectre, and it sends a turn back to Jonathan, who seems to be struggling a little bit here for business. And there's a Whip of Erebos, which is going to be pretty good at helping Jonathan stem the tide in the race. And there's a Thoughtseize, revealing a Sin Collector and another Whip. You should obviously take the Sin Collector here. And that's what he does, so he's going to drop to 23 off his own Thoughtseize. Serve in with the Spectre here. What do you find on top? Well, there's a plane, so now we can cast the... Did Drew already play a land this turn? I don't think he did, so we can cast this Blood Baron now. I think he tapped 1 too many mana. I don't think it matters, though, because I think there's another land in his hand. So, pretty huge swing there. Jonathan down to just 2 cards in hand with a very unimpressive board here. He can whip back Sin Collector if he wants to. That's not going to be any good, as we know. Drew doesn't have anything of relevance in his hand. Here's another Scavenging Ooze. So a Doomblade off the top from Drew, and he's going to target the Scavenging Ooze, and in response Jonathan is going to eat some stuff. Then serve in with the Spectre and the Blood Baron. So Jonathan can chump with the Sylvan Caryatid on the Blood Baron if he wants to. And there's another land off the top. So Jonathan's just going to take it all, going to drop down to 7. And then it's going to go up to, looks like 29. And then Drew's going to play Jonathan's land off the Spectre and pass the turn back here. So this game seems like one that's entirely decided by just complete dumb luck, not to take anything away from Drew, because that's why you play cards, that's why you put cards like Night Veil Spectre in your deck, but hitting Blood Baron, then hitting the exact mana you need to cast it, seems pretty good here. So we know we have an Obsidian here. And there is the Obsidian, so there's going to be a 4-point life swing, putting Jonathan up to 9. But still facing down some tough to deal with creatures here. So attacking in with Blood Baron and with the Night Veil Spectre, and Jonathan just going to take 6 again, go down to 3, put Drew up to 31. Oh, 33. I keep missing the fact that Drew has his own whip, and there's an Elvish Mystic off the top from the Spectre, and then we're going to follow it up with a Desecration Demon. So, despite having this Obsidat, yep, John, winner of Brian versus Vickers. So the decider here in a round 3 feature match, Jonathan keeping a mole to 6, starting off with a Temple Guard.
No one's gonna hit that. Dude, people better watch out when they're casting their spells now.
So Jonathan shocking himself for a turn 2 Voice of Resurgence. And then Drew passing back with no play here. So Drew falling behind. Casey, for your benefit, as we see a Lockdown Smiter, so Jonathan just going old school beatdown mode. He was able to win the last game, Drew was, by, as we see him whiff. That's a very frustrating thing about Lifebane Zombie, is seeing an Advent and not being able to take it, you know. It's going to make a creature, but it is not technically a creature. Drew won with attacking with Night Veil Spectre, getting a Blood Baron, and the next turn getting a Plains. Then casting said Blood Baron, and then winning with that. He also had a good draw otherwise, but like that was the clincher. It was very fun to watch, I'm not going to lie. So Jonathan serving in with the team here. And then loads up another Voice of Resurgence. So we're going to see a Desecration Demon here, or another Lifebane Zombie. Oh, Hero's Downfall on the Loxodon Smiter. At some point, that Lifebane Zombie is just going to have to play defense, isn't it? Drew disagrees. He's just going to pound in. I guess with Gray Merchants, you do have the potential to just race, you know, 2 Grizzly Bears, but he's going to have an end of turn Advent here, which is going to be lethal, right? Is he going to miss this? Yeah, that's not good. No. He just loses now, doesn't he? Oh, he has a Mutavault. That's a mistake, right? You just wait until the Advent, and then here's Downfall the Advent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not dead. He can block. He can block 3 with. He can block the Elemental token with the Mutavault, and then he'll just go down to 1. But he's in a bad spot. His hand is 3 Swamps and Underworld Connections.
Well, he has the 4 blockers. He can just Downfall, right? That's in his hand.
He doesn't have mana.
Yeah, no.
You're also watching the delay. No, you can't block like that because you just die. Oh, before blockers. Oh, you were talking about Jonathan?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you were talking about Drew. But no, you're exactly right. So activate the Mutavault to try and block. But Hero's Downfall before blockers from Jonathan, and all the damage gets in, and that is lethal. So we had some pretty good games. Well, actually, none of those games were very close. They were all seemed to be whitewashes in one way or the other on either side. So Jonathan gets that one. Unfortunately, Drew drops to 1 and 2, and he's out of contention. But Jonathan's still drawing alive to the top 8 with his junk mid-range deck. This deck's been doing well for both the Wright brothers.